A day after UP Chief Minister ordered imposing NSA against people involved in alleged religious conversion racket, India Today has accessed a video of one of the arrested accused in the case named Muhammad Umar Gautam. In the video, he can be heard saying that every month around 15 people were converted at their office in Delhi's Jamia Nagar by the name of Islamic Dawah Center. On Monday, UP ATS arrested Umar Gautam and his associate Mufti Qazi Jahangir Kazmi for allegedly running a conversion racket. Two are in judicial custody till 3rd of July. The role of a Ministry of Women and Child Development employee, Irfan Sheikh, has also come to the fore and he's likely to be questioned soon. Meanwhile, sources are saying that Islamic Dawah Center has also links with Qatar-based Salafi preacher Dr. Bilal Phillips, who is an associate of Zakir Naik. IDC is suspected to have received foreign funds from NGOs based in the USA, Qatar, Kuwait, etc. Apart from IDC, over 60 Dawah institutions across the country are now under the watch of intelligence agencies.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इस सेंटर में 1000 से ज़्यादा लोगों के लीगल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की फॉर्मेलिटीज़ पूरी की गई हैं। हमारे यहाँ इस्लामिक दावा सेंटर में पोलैंड से, पुर्तगाल से, जर्मनी से, सिंगापुर से, अमेरिका से, इंग्लैंड से कितने ममालिक से लोग आकर के उन्होंने वहाँ से अपना लीगल असिस्टेंस भी लिया। उनकी मैरिजेस के भी मामलात हुए, कोर्ट मैरिज के भी मामलात हुए और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ये एक सिलसिला चल रहा है कि ये काम हम सब का मिला जुला काम है। जैसा कि हज़रत मौलाना ने फरमाया, ये तमाम उम्मत मुस्लिमा का ये यूनैनिमस यूनाइटेड एफर्ट है जिसको सबको मिलकर करना है।
Jitendra Bahadur reporting from Delhi is now joining us for the very latest on this story. Jitendra, आप हमें बताइए ये जो यूपी का जो कन्वर्जन रैकेट केस है काफ़ी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। आप हमें हमारे दर्शकों को पूरा बताइए कि ये कैसे शुरुआत हुई और कैसे इसकी तहकीकात हुई और यूपी ने कैसे इसको बस्ट किया है पुलिस ने।
देखिए चाहती, ये रैकेट काफ़ी दिनों से उत्तर प्रदेश के साथ साथ पंजाब, हरियाणा, महाराष्ट्र और दूसरे राज्यों में भी इस तरीके से कन्वर्जन कराने की कोशिश इस रैकेट के जरिए की जा रही थी। जानकारी ये मिली है खुफिया सूत्रों के हवाले से कि 60 ऐसे जो इस्लामिक दावा सेंटर हैं वो देश में अलग अलग जगहों पर सक्रिय हैं और उनके जरिए इस तरीके से उन लोगों को कन्वर्जन कराया जाता है जो कि मूक बधिर या फिर गरीब तबके के लोग हैं। उन लोगों को कन्वर्जन कराने की कोशिश इन लोगों की तरफ से की जा रही है। सूत्रों ने यह जानकारी दी है कि इनकी तरफ से ये व्यवस्था की जाती है कि विदेशों में जो एनजीओज मौजूद हैं, जिसमें ख़ास तरीके से अमेरिका है, कतर है, कुवैत, इनके एनजीओ से फंडिंग बाकायदे यहाँ पर भारत में मौजूद जो कि FCRA में रजिस्टर्ड एनजीओ हैं उनके पास आई हुई है। हमको गृह मंत्रालय के सूत्रों से ये जानकारी मिली है कि जो FCRA रजिस्टर्ड एनजीओ हैं जिनके पास कन्वर्जन को लेकर के इस तरीके से पैसा आया है और IDC की तरफ उसको रूट किया गया है, उस पैसे को, उनके खिलाफ आने वाले दिनों में बड़ी कार्रवाई की जा सकती है। तो इस तरीके की जानकारी और ऐसे खुलासे इस बात को लेकर के लगातार आ रहे हैं कि IDC जो कि जामिया नगर में अपना ऑफिस चलाता था वो आने वाले दिनों में यानी कि कई ऐसे लेटर भी उनके मिले हैं जो कि उसमें ये बात की जानकारी दे रहे हैं कि 1 साल पहले ही किसी व्यक्ति को कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया और उसके लिए बाकायदे सर्टिफिकेट 1 साल पहले ही वो लोग दे देते हैं। तो इस तरीके के नए उनके कन्वर्जन करने के तरीके इस वक्त दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं। केंद्र सरकार और इसके अलावा आपको बता दें इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज इस बात को लेकर के सक्रिय हैं कि देश में अगर दूसरी जगहों पर इस संस्था के द्वारा लगातार कन्वर्जन करने की कोशिश की जा रही है उस पर नज़र रखी जाए। और इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज ने यहाँ तक की दावा किया है, सूत्रों ने बताया है कि जाकिर नाइक से जुड़ा हुआ एक व्यक्ति है जो कि कतर में एक यूनिवर्सिटी चलाता है, इस्लामिक यूनिवर्सिटी, वहां से ऑनलाइन कन्वर्जन करने की कोशिश उनकी तरफ से की जा रही थी, जिस पर लगातार खुफिया एजेंसियां नजर बनाए हुए हैं और आने वाले दिनों में इस पर बड़ा खुलासा करेंगी खुफिया।
बिल्कुल, हम उस खुलासे के लिए वेट कर रहे हैं और आप हमें उसकी जानकारी ले आएंगे तो we'll keep coming back to you for more on this story. Thanks so much for joining us, Jitendra, for all the very latest on this story. The anti-terror squad of the Uttar Pradesh police have arrested 2 Muslim clerics and claimed an international conversion racket has been busted. The police claimed foreign funds, including from Pakistan's ISI, was being funneled in India to convert speech and hearing impaired children and women to Islam. The aim, according to the police, was to foment communal tension in India. Our Crime Bureau with this report.
Muhammad Umar Gautam and Mufti Qazi Jahangir arrested by the anti-terror squad of the Uttar Pradesh police for allegedly illegally converting over 1,000 speech and hearing impaired children and poor women.
ये मूल सूचनाएं जो हैं वो दासना गाजियाबाद में एक मंदिर में लोग छद्म नाम से घुस रहे थे। उनके गिरफ्तारी के बाद से धीरे धीरे चीज़ें डेवलप हुई और जो उमर गौतम को बीच में 2-3 बार हम लोगों ने पूछताछ के लिए भी बुलाया था और जब आवश्यक हुआ तब इनकी गिरफ्तारी कर की।
Police say Muhammad Umar Gautam was a Hindu, Vipul Vijayvargiya from Nagpur before he converted to Islam after marriage in Ghaziabad. Muhammad Umar Gautam and Mufti Qazi Jahangir were part of a well-organized conversion racket that preyed on the weak and the vulnerable.
ऐसे वल्नरेबल सेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी जो कमज़ोर वर्ग है, मूक एंड बधिर बच्चे हैं, महिलाएं हैं, इन सभी को विभिन्न तरह के प्रलोभन देकर और उनको अपने धर्म के प्रति गलत चीज़ें बताकर और इस्लाम धर्म की अच्छाइयाँ बताकर उनको कन्वर्ट कराते हैं।
The group that operated under the banner Islamic Dawa Center had an office in Jamia Nagar in Delhi and organized annual conversion camps. The police have so far recovered a list of 1,000 vulnerable women and children converted in the past 2 years.
अब तक हम लोगों ने ऐसे 1000 लोगों के नाम प्राप्त किए हैं जिनका कन्वर्शन हुआ है और ये लोग अपना सालाना कॉन्क्लेव भी करते हैं और उसमें भी लोगों को, बाहर के लोगों को बुला के धर्म परिवर्तन के लिए उत्प्रेरित करते हैं।
What is even more alarming is that the police suspect Pakistan ISI and other foreign entities were funding this conversion racket to foment communal tension and even organized crime in India.
ISI connection, foreign funding?
ये फंडिंग बहुत ज़्यादा है, फॉरेन की फंडिंग भी है, अन्य सभी चीज़ों पे विवेचना चल रही है।
Police say more arrests and raids are likely in the coming days. The opposition, however, fears this is part of an effort to communalize and polarize the environment in Uttar Pradesh ahead of the assembly elections.
उत्तर प्रदेश का नौजवान रोजगार की तलाश में है, सड़क पर वो लाठी खाने को मजबूर है। उत्तर प्रदेश में महिलाओं के साथ अत्याचार हो रहा है और भाजपा सरकार धर्मांतरण, धर्म परिवर्तन, जाति परिवर्तन, इन सब चीजों में लोगों को उलझा कर रखना चाहती है।
Police insist there is evidence about money and fear being used to convert vulnerable Hindus every year. In some instances, the youth were immediately married off to Muslim women after conversion to ensure that they do not return to their original faith. With Abhishek Anand in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Amidst the speculations about rumblings within BJP's Uttar Pradesh unit, party settles debate over chief ministerial face. Saffron Party General Secretary Arun Singh confirms to India Today that Yogi Adityanath will be the chief ministerial face for the upcoming polls. Here's a look.
After all the rumblings and suspense, the BJP seems to have made up its mind. Putting all speculation to rest, the party has declared Yogi Adityanath as the BJP's CM face in the assembly polls early next year.
देश का सबसे बड़ा राज्य उत्तर प्रदेश है, बिल्कुल कानून व्यवस्था ठीक है और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री हैं, मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे.
He will not be replaced before the next election.
I said he is our chief minister, he will remain chief minister.
The confirmation comes amid reports of discontent within the party's Uttar Pradesh unit over the handling of COVID second wave in the state. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had last week told India Today that Yogi Adityanath won't be replaced. He had in fact hailed Yogi's COVID management.
मैंने यूपी के मुख्यमंत्री ने बहुत ही शानदार काम किया, लेकिन कोविड से प्रभावित रहने के बावजूद जब आइसोलेशन में थे तब भी वो लगातार वो काम करते रहे, इसलिए उनके नियत पर सवालिया निशान नहीं लगाया जा सकता।
Earlier this month, Yogi held a series of meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, and BJP Chief JP Nadda. The meetings were seen as Yogi's bid to send out a message to his detractors and to get an endorsement
from the party's top brass. With the BJP's top guns throwing their weight behind Yogi Adityanath, the party is now fully geared to enter the poll arena in Uttar Pradesh. With Shivendra Srivastava in Lucknow and Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
New twist coming into fugitive Mehul Choksi's abduction saga after girlfriend Barbara Jarabeka's claim that Choksi wasn't abducted. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown in Parliament has said that there is no conclusive evidence that the Diamantaire was abducted. He further added that the authorities are investigating the matter and may have some individuals of interest in custody. PNB scam fraudster Mehul Choksi had gone mysteriously missing on 23rd of May from Antigua and Barbuda and appeared in Dominica a few days later on 27th of May. He maintains that he was abducted.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware of evidence, but there is information in the public domain that Mehul Choksi was abducted, and I'm aware that law enforcement here would have done some research and perhaps may have some individuals of interest. But insofar as evidence is concerned, I am not aware that there is any such conclusive evidence.
Geeta Mohan, breaking the story, is now joining us for the very latest on this, our Foreign Affairs editor. Geeta, a couple of things. One is that whether he was abducted or not, that claim seems to be falling flat. Secondly, where does India stand vis-a-vis his extradition now, given all these developments that have taken place?
Well, the case is in the courts in Dominica. One will have to wait to hear what the Dominican courts really say. One, on the illegal entry, and secondly, on the extradition case itself, where India has urged the Dominican authorities to hand him over to India, given that his citizenship still is in question. Having said that, the Antiguan Prime Minister was faced with a barrage of questions from the opposition benches in the Parliament on Tuesday, and his response is that there is no evidence as of now with regards to abduction of Mehul Choksi, but he also admitted to the fact that investigations continue to be underway and there are persons of interest who have been apprehended and are being questioned. So we'll have to wait and see whether if once the investigations are over, there is some conclusion to the people who've been apprehended, their involvement in the alleged case of abduction of Mehul Choksi. Also, with regards to the illegal movement of a vessel that was allegedly involved in abduction of Mehul Choksi, the Prime Minister said that there could not have been any illegal entry into the Antiguan space of waters, that there could have been an inspection, but they're looking into that matter as well. And that the borders between Caribbean nations are quite porous because their water areas and are not absolutely patrolled the manner in which it can be to avoid any illegal movement.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us with the very latest on this, Geeta. Terrorists on Tuesday targeted a police inspector in front of a mosque in Srinagar. Jammu and Kashmir Police Inspector Parvez Ahmed Dar was sprayed with bullets by terrorists when he was going to the mosque to offer evening prayers. The injured cop was immediately rushed to the hospital where he succumbed to the bullet wounds. The entire incident was caught on camera and where two unidentified terrorists can be seen firing at the police officials with pistols. Police have registered a case in this regard and suspects are being questioned. DIG and SSP Srinagar also reached the crime scene and began the probe. Police is also working to establish the circumstances that lead to this terror attack. Police is also carrying out search operations in the area.
This is the exact spot where the police inspector Parvez Ahmed Dar was shot dead yesterday late in the day. In fact, these are the bullet marks. When at about 8:15 he was proceeding for the prayers in this local mosque here in Ganipura area of Srinagar. And just few yards away from this mosque is his residence. And this man just houses away, almost 60 to 70 meters. He was walking by foot to offer the prayers in this mosque, and two assailants, believed to be the militants, were waiting here on this road, and as he came here, he was targeted from the back. 5 bullets were fired on him and he fell down. Just the marks are here, not only of the bullets but in fact of the blood stains. Then he was shifted to the Srinagar hospital. On the way he succumbed to the injuries. The people living here say that the Parvez Ahmed Dar was living here for years, and he was a very soft and simple person. That is why he was not in kind of any security cover after the duty hours in this area. In fact, we can see the cigar shops are closed. People are not coming out, and in fact, only this land, which is just few yards away, is his residence, and where people are coming to condole. One of the important things which came up after this attack was the CCTV footage, and this is the camera here on the shop, which captured the whole live view, and that could be a clue for the security agencies to trace the attackers here in the Ganipura area of Srinagar outskirts. Ashraf Wani, India Today in Srinagar.
My colleague Akshita Nandgopal explains the terror casualties in Jammu and Kashmir. Listen in.
In this year alone, terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir have targeted our forces. They've targeted civilians as well. And let's put out the stats for you. The government data that's out on the number of casualties of terror in the valley. As far as forces who've been killed in the line of duty, like what's happened to the police inspector in Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, 14 of them have been killed by terrorists in different incidents in this year alone. As far as civilians go, 9 of them have been killed and by terrorists during different attacks that have happened in Jammu and Kashmir. This is the government data that's out for 2021.